It's the book of Alpha running, man, homie. Read it or weep.
You don't have to tell her everything. Don't be over communicating. Don't talk about everything. If you feel like you're about to talk about something you don't need to talk about, catch yourself sometime. Don't run your mouth about everything. Make the conversation be about her. That's a part of the fantasy in her mind. In her mind, her fantasy is, man that listens to her and understands her. Hey, man, give her that fantasy. Now, let me stop right here. I understand that you may not know that I'm referring to a quality woman here. I'm talking about a quality woman here. I'm not talking about some scallywag. I'm not talking about some hood rat thought. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about a quality woman here. And quality woman is not something you can apply to all women. I'm talking about a woman that's worth having on your team, a woman that's shown that she has gifts that can effectively benefit your movement, that can benefit your team, that can benefit your energy, that can benefit your process. Anyone who doesn't benefit your process is a waste of time. These things don't apply to her. Now that we know we're talking about a quality woman here, always make the conversation about her. And if you say, well, I don't want to sit and talk about it. Okay, limit the conversation. Anybody saying you got to sit on the phone for 2 hours talking to her? You control the length of the conversation. You can even preset the length of the conversation if you want to. If you want to talk for 5 minutes, talk for 5 minutes. Keep a timer, nigga. If you want to talk for 10 minutes, talk for 10 minutes. You have to control this scenario, man. So never act like you some bird-herd dude that's always got to try to crush her emotionally. So when you say something and it floats her boat and it blows her mind, just because you don't want her words to affect you like that, you ain't got to tell her, Shawty, that don't mean nothing to me. Shawty, don't be telling me nothing like that. Even if she tell you she love you, if you don't believe it, so what? You ain't got to tell her. If you believe it, you ain't got to tell her. You ain't got to tell her nothing like that, man. This is what you have to do with information with women, man. You have to give them information on a need-to-know basis. If she don't need to know it, don't give it to her, because I promise you she won't forget it. She won't forget nothing you tell her. You know what I'm saying? Man, I've had a woman show me a text, man, that I text her a year ago. Like, I'm like, what kind of memory you got in your phone? Shawty, you ain't taking no pictures in that? How the hell you still holding on to a text from a year ago? But then hold on to a text from a year ago. I had a woman forward me an email, man, that I sent her, man, from 5 years earlier, bro. 5 years ago. I didn't even have the same email address no more, bro. And she was holding on to it. So the number one thing is, man, you give her information on need-to-know basis. And if it doesn't feed into her fantasy, she don't need it. You have to remember that she lives in a fantasy world. This is what you have to understand. The woman who's ugly thinks she's prettier than she is. The woman who's short thinks she's taller than she is. The woman who's overweight thinks she's smaller than she really is. The woman who's not really smart thinks she's smarter than she really is. You know what I'm saying? This is just how it is with women. They live in a fantasy world, man. But they can manipulate the fantasy good and bad. That's why you see a bad chick with a fat dude. You can see a bad chick with, a dude like he been burned up in a fire, man. Because she lives in a fantasy world. She can create whatever she wants to create. She can take a good part, something good about you, and totally block out something that she doesn't like about you to the point where it doesn't even exist anymore. She can take 5 things and wrap them all up in one and use that one thing to be a blanket description of who you are and forget about all your other shit. I'm telling you, they can do this, bro. You just have to keep in mind that you can't deal with them from a logical perspective. You can't feed them logical information. You have to deal with them like your ass is in the middle of a Mother Goose fairy tale, homie. This is what you have to do. You have to be the cat in the hat when you're dealing with women, bro. They don't eat regular food. They eat green eggs and ham like Sam I am, bro. They don't eat regular food. And this thing you had to keep in mind. This is why when I hear these brothers out here talking about, man, all these hoops you got to jump through and all this, yeah, you got to do all that when you're trying to be logical with women, man. When you're trying to view women as if they have the same mindset as men. Yeah, you complicate things and you put them in a position of power and you give them power that they wouldn't normally have. They're not used to that type of power, man.
Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this real shit. And as always, alpha's up, beta's down. Peace.